Hey guys, Steven here with the E92 M3. Going to be making this video just to give you guys an update on what I'm doing with the car. I was contemplating if I was gonna keep it or sell it. I've already started, did the wheels and rinsed it. But today I came up with a decision or a plan of what I'm gonna do with the car. And I'll tell you what I was considering. The options I had were either sell it because I don't love the car, even though it has grown on me in the last week or so, 2 weeks, or to keep it and modify it and build it out and make it or rectify all the issues that I have with it. And I've decided that I'm not going to keep the car. I'm going to sell it. And so it went for sale today. This thing's for sale. And yeah, I'm not sad about it. I'm pretty confident in my decision. It was already for sale once, but I wasn't getting any serious bites. I got a few offers that I could have taken. And at this point, I've enjoyed the car a little bit more. I've had time with it. I feel better about taking a loss on it. I bought the car. Yeah, I don't want to say I completely overpaid for it. I think it was still a fair deal. But gas prices weren't where they were or where they are now. And I really wanted the spec, and so I wasn't trying to get the best price. I was just kind of trying to make a fair deal or so, and just get the car, you know. It's kinking up on me. So anyways, if I were to keep the car, there are some things that I would have done, and I mocked it up, I priced it out. That was part of my decision. You know, maybe one day when I'm a little bit more flexible financially, I can grab another one and make it to my liking. But I think right now, you know, I don't love the car. E36 is just still calling my name. I love that car, and so I think the move is to move on for now. Like I said, I really did enjoy it. But let me give you guys a list of what I would have done with the car. I need more soap in here. Number one would have been some wheels. I think I would have thrown on some M359s. Which is very common. It's just the competition wheel remake. It's a rep. Or something from Apex, like the SM10 or something like that. Although I don't love 18s on the E90X chassis. I haven't found any that I really like. I think the 19s just in general look better. A 19 wheel fits well better. You know, I'm not really tracking the car enough to where it's gonna matter that much. So I would have done the M359s most likely, dropped it by 1/2 inch to get the competition stance, maybe even a little lower if I went with a coilover. Although this car is equipped with EDC, so I wanted to retain that. I actually really enjoyed EDC. A lot of guys say don't go EDC because you'll have to delete it if you want to go coilovers, but in general, EDC is actually cool. I really enjoyed it. A lot of you are gonna yell at me maybe for not going top bottom, but I kind of like going bumper first. I would have figured out the exhaust situation on this thing, because as it sits, it's way too loud. It's ridiculously loud, and so I would have definitely fixed that. Maybe gone with an M Performance or a Dynan system. The car right now it's catless, it's got test pipes, and it's got a modded exhaust. So it's so loud. I've personally witnessed old people plugging their ears as I've passed by. I've seen it with my own eyes, man. This thing's loud. It's obnoxious when you're not even trying to be obnoxious, you know? So that's kind of where I draw the line. Well, my line is far before that, but yeah, so I would quiet it down. I think that would make me enjoy it a lot more, to be honest. And if I really wanted to give this car a proper shot, I think I would have done that. But I just don't love it already. The chassis feel, I think lowering the car would have helped with that. And so, what else would I have done? Auto Solutions short shift kit. The shifter in this car is notably pretty weak. So I would have done that with a ZHP shift knob, which I love how those feel. I had one in my E36. I would have done some carbon bits, carbon or Vorsteiner front lip, side skirts, mirror caps, carbon, high kick rear trunk spoiler, some carbon fiber bits. I think would work really nicely, especially against the silver, which by the way is just, I think it's stunning. I worked hard on this shot, so hopefully it pays off and it looks pretty good, but I think the color is just fantastic. I actually really wanted this exact spec. I looked for this car for a while, and when I found it, I was pretty set on buying this thing. Honestly, more so than I should have been. I should have been more patient, and I should have just gone. I think I could have gotten a better price on it. I think it was still a fair price, but it wasn't like a great buy. And so I'm going to take a loss on this car when I go to sell it, which I already told you I am. So, but I feel better about taking a loss now that I've actually got to enjoy the car, where before I just kind of hated it, honestly. Which is, you guys have probably seen that video I made. If you haven't, check it out. It's the reasons why I don't love this car, and I try to talk about things that you don't really see in the forums or that other people haven't talked about, that are still actually really important reasons to why you might not love it, like myself. One of them being the steering is totally numb. And it's not horrible. It's good for modern day standards, but compared to other racks, like hydraulic racks, it's not good. It's just not. The E36 beats this by miles. My 328 Xi, the E91 wagon that I have, beats this by miles when it comes to steering. So, anywho, those are some of the bits that I would have done, and it's probably like $8,000 worth of stuff, secondhand, $6,000 to $8,000. I think I actually did mock it up, and that was part of what led me to my decision, was just how costly it would be to kind of maybe get this to a place to where I would love it. And so for me, I think it's just time that I kind of move on. Kind of decided that, you know, maybe in the future one day when I have some more flexibility, I can, you know, get one and make it to how I would like it. This car is a sunroof car, and I actually wanted a sunroof. I think the carbon roof is a bit overhyped. I think it is cool, obviously. It's carbon fiber roof, but in terms of like what you're gonna use on the day-to-day, I love just having the wind in my hair and just having as much light in the cabin as possible. And so it's part of the reason why, you know, we love Miatas and S2000s, and you know, is that experience, that top-down experience. And the closest I can get to that in a car like this is with a sunroof. And so I used it all last week, the sunroof, every single day. Now the carbon roof, it saves you 30-40 pounds on the top of the car, which is important when you're chasing milliseconds. But how often am I doing that, realistically speaking? Once a year, twice a year, maybe. And so I opted for the sunroof, and I don't regret it. Also, if you really wanted, you know, if your sunroof starts leaking in 10 years, or you just don't want it anymore, you can rip this roof off and install a carbon one. They don't go for too expensive. Last time I checked, I think it was like $800, $600 for a used roof. Some new clear coat. You're probably, you know, I can't imagine it's too bad. Maybe it is, and I just don't know. But yeah, I opted for this car very specifically, the Silverstone over Fox Red. I was fine with the 2008 car. I don't care about single hump, no hump, whatever. It doesn't bother me. I actually really enjoy the CIC or the CCC drive in this thing is not bad at all. I think that's another thing that's overhyped. But anywho, enough rambling about this thing. I'm getting rid of it, guys. So, ran into some technical difficulties yesterday. Bear with me as I iron out these kinks. Turn this off. But the car is now clean and dried. And I took it on a drive yesterday. There's a show tomorrow, German Cars and Coffee here in Nashville. So I was doing some hard braking yesterday, just some spirited driving. So I'm just gonna wipe the wheels down, actually, along with a few bugs on the front bumper. But it is pretty clean. I think I was speaking yesterday just on some hypotheticals, what I would do to the car if I were to keep it. Shortly after posting it for sale, I got some interest. So that's cool. So we'll see how that goes, but I have decided to sell the car. And I won't be doing any of those mods or anything like that, obviously. But I will be prepping the wagon a bit and hopefully getting my hands on an E36 M3 really soon here. However, I don't want to rush into anything. I want to make sure, make sure that, just make sure that I have my priorities in line. I think I can fall victim of just giving cars too much value or giving them too much of a high spot in my life, like a priority in my life. And that can be dangerous because, you know, that's not solid. Cars are not a solid foundation to kind of put that much worth into, or put that much, you know, just invest too much into emotionally. Cars come and go, you know, just like money, just like anything, especially when you compare it to relationships, or for me personally, my faith. I also need to dress the tires. I didn't do that yesterday. I have a crappy, like, silicone based or whatever it is, tire shine. It works for like a couple days. So I wanted to make sure that I threw it on the day before the show. So I'll also do that. But I just wanted to make sure that I, you know, got some footage to kind of explain what happened yesterday. Just to wrap up this update video. So that's what's happening. Car's gonna be gone soon. I have a guy in Florida who's interested. We'll see if he follows through. I will be taking a loss on this car. I think I mentioned that before. But we'll try to manage those as best as possible. I want to give the guy a fair deal, you know, and I want to make sure it's fair on my end, of course. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm trying to be as transparent as I possibly can with the car. He asked me why I'm getting rid of it, and I told him I don't love it. So we'll see. I think it was a younger guy. Part of me is a little nervous about that because I don't want anybody buying this car off of me and then hurting themselves, because it does have a ton of power. Luckily, it's a very controllable car. So we'll see. As I continue also to shoot more videos and just, you know, think about ideas for videos and kind of bring you guys along this journey, I'm going to do some more just videos on just speaking about some really big values and lessons that I've learned, and just some honest thoughts just about being in your mid-20s in the year 2022. Like, a lot of us kind of, I think, will be able to relate to this stuff, and or maybe even if you're in that next stage of life, you know, we're all kind of feeling the pressures, or the like the, you know, the rhythms of 2022, just coming out of you know, almost 3 years of wackiness, and now inflation, dooming inflation, and labor shortage, all that stuff, you know, weighs in on us. I did not feel a lick of anxiety until I was like 23. And I was like, anxiety? Like, I'll never have that. I'm not a worrier type or anything like that. But welcome to adulthood. It's definitely a struggle I've had in the past. And I think social media, our society, our pace, a bombardment of media in general, and bad news all the time. You turn on the news, it's just terrible for your mind to just be absorbing that all day. It's bound to happen. Anyways, I'm rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this update of the E92 M3. I don't know how much longer I'll have it for. If the guy wants it, he'll come probably, I'm assuming, like in the weekend. I think he's still in school, and this will be gone probably in a week. I told him everything about it, you know, everything that's wrong with it. It's only a few things. It needs the fuel vapor valves. Once in a while, it'll not like to idle. It'll just idle a little, like up and down, always below 1,000, well below 1,000. But then once in a while, it'll actually stall. And then needs rotors, needs tires. That's pretty much it. It needs a cup holder, little bits like that. There's a couple things. One of the mirrors, the auto tint, like failed at max tint. So little things like that. But if I were keeping the car, I would literally try to make it like perfect. I don't want to use that word, not perfect, but just in great condition, and something that I can really be proud of and enjoy, and but also not be obsessed about, you know, or not be consumed by. So we'll see. Man, it's pretty. It's so good looking. I'm gonna miss it. I didn't think I would, but I'm definitely gonna miss it. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I'll see you guys for the next one. Hopefully this thing's still here. I want to enjoy it for a little longer, but we'll see. Take care, guys.